Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our event. It's about how you can land your first tech role with AI. It's hosted by GDG UTS, and obviously the person that's going to be talking about it is Geshan, who's over there. Before we get right into this, I'd just like to walk you guys through a couple of things. Oops, sorry. So I'd just like to start with the acknowledgement of country. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people joining us here today. So this is just a little code of conduct if you guys would like to scan it. It's just a little bit of housekeeping, what we'd like to expect going forward. That's these kind of things. Cool, I'll move on to the next slide now. As for any upcoming events we have, there is an event coming up next week. It's at this exact same location. It's about building and contributing with AI responsibly. So if anybody would be interested in learning more about AI and how that integrates into our life and how it integrates into the workforce, feel free to scan this, feel free to register. We'd love to see you guys there. I'll just leave it up for a little while longer. It's all good. You guys can talk to us about it later. As for the agenda today, the talk, the demo, and the Q&A sessions is going to start up next. That's obviously going to be led by Geshan, following which at around 7 o'clock, we'll open the doors for food. Feel free to have some food. Feel free to chat amongst yourself. Feel free to catch any one of the GDG UTS organizers. They're at the back over there. We've got Louis, who's in the blue, and we've got Ina, who's in the white. And yeah, that's about it. Again, I'm Akash. I'm the chapter lead for the UTS chapter, and we have Ina, who's our marketing director, who's back there. Now, I'd just like to introduce Geshan and hand it over to him, and please put your hands together for him.
Good job. Is this on? I think so. Finding a job properly is a full-time job on itself. So let's start with that. And today I'm going to talk about how you can use Gemini to search a job and or bag it as well. Yeah, your first or your next tech job. I am Geshan, as introduced. I am a tech lead at Safewill. You'll know about it in a bit. I've been a GD for GCP from December 2019. I am also a AWS community builder from this year. I blog at geshan.com.np since 2007. You can do the math. That might add up to almost 20 years now. And my last job search was around September, October 2025. So I think I am in a pretty good position to do this talk. And just a disclaimer, I'm not an AI engineer. I'm a software engineer who uses AI and or AI APIs, but I don't train models or fine-tune models every day. I work for Safewill, and Safewill helps you write wills online. That's one of the things it does. You can do your power of attorneys. You can do all the other stuff as well with Safewill. But yeah, that's one of the main things Safewill does. If you want to know more about it, come back and chat with me. We have a senior role open. So if anyone's looking for a role and wants a referral, I can do that. We even hire people on a visa, so there might be a chance. Yeah. I'm originally from Kathmandu, Nepal, the only country that has a non-rectangular flag and is pumping, from my last count, around $2 to $3 billion to the Australian economy with all the students flowing in. Yeah, before I go ahead, how many of you are students, given this is done by GDG on campus UTS? Almost half of the audience. That's very good to see. So the agenda, at least for the talk, is job search in 2025, 2026 is hard. The market is cooled, as to say. I'm going to touch a bit onto hiring funnel, then resume, and a couple of interview tips. From there, I'm going to go into the demo of Gemini, Gemini Notebook, which has been called Gemini Notebook from today. It was called NotebookLM. So I'm going to show both of those, as well as I'm going to show you the live feature on Google AI Studio, which you can use to essentially do an interview whenever you like, wherever you like. That's not with a person, but then you can actually have a chat. I've already tested the sound, so hopefully that goes well. And yeah, towards the end, there's a conclusion, and then we can do some questions. Yeah? So as I said, like, job search is hard in 2026. The market is like really cold. Probably like in 2025, I would have used the word lukewarm, but nowadays it's really hard, and I think it's even harder for recent graduates and students because of many reasons, including the visa. Yeah? Layoffs are widespread and happening at a fast pace. You might have heard news of, like, I don't know, 1,000 people, 500 people being laid off in the past 2-3 months. The job market is even harder. As I just said, it's even harder for recent graduates and international students. One, probably the experience is less, and two, the visa situation doesn't really play well for you. So the point is, like, it is good to use Gen AI to your advantage in the job search process. That's one thing. But the main thing there is build your network and try to leverage it. It takes time, but it's worth it. I'll probably touch a bit more on that in a while. So in my understanding, there are two ways to look for jobs. Yeah? One is pray and pray. You see 100 roles, you apply to all 100 of them, and then pray that someone comes back to you. And that's one way of doing it. So of course, with that, the conversion rate is very low. By conversion rate, I mean like someone actually calling you. For instance, if you apply to 100 roles and then you get 3 calls, essentially the conversion rate is 3%. Yeah? So it's very low. Whereas you can do another way of doing it. So I would call it like the strategic surgical approach or strategic surgical operation. What you can do here is probably find a niche or an area that actually interests you. Yeah, it could be banking, it could be finance, it could be e-commerce. Yeah? And there, make a list of 5 to 10 companies, or even less, probably in this market, 5 to 10 companies, more towards the 10. And where you want to work. For example, if you want to work on e-commerce, probably there are fashion e-commerce company, there are pet food e-commerce companies in Sydney. So you could get those things as a list, right? From there, what you want to do is you want to find connections there. Maybe a software engineer, maybe a recruiter, like get them, pay for a coffee, do a coffee chat, do a virtual coffee chat, whatever works, whatever you need to do to build your network, right? And with those connections, what happens is, I don't know, 6 months, 1 year down the line, when you go into a full-time work visa and you can work full-time, it's much easier to approach them again, and probably they have a vacancy in their work, or they know people in like surrounding kind of companies, right? So that is one way of doing it rather than your regular spray and pray. And I'm pretty sure that the second method works much better. I have had like a full talk and a workshop on Resume Reviewer. So from there, this is kind of an extract. There are essentially 3 golden rules for your resume. The first one being keep it 1 page, maximum 2 pages. People with less than 3 or 4 years of experience, it will easily fit in 1 page. Yeah. Then there is a second thing, the 7-second rule. By that, I mean, on an average, a recruiter looks at a resume for 7 seconds. So you need to think of what you want to put above the fold, below the fold, because the whole page doesn't fit on the screen. So someone will need to scroll. And how are you going to sell yourself? How are you going to weigh the sentences that you write? So it's a very strategic game. Just writing your hobbies on a resume doesn't count. You have to be very strategic on how you use that space. Yeah? The second one is delete ruthlessly. Remove anything that is not relevant. I was just having a chat outside before this, and yeah, someone was saying it's hard to delete stuff in your resume, but it is necessary. It is a necessary evil. You will need to delete stuff so that it fits, it matches the role. And towards the end, I'm going to show you a demo where that can be automated with AI to a point. Last but not the least, add numbers. Follow the XYZ formula. Generally follow a 60-40 rule. By that I mean if you have 5 bullet points for your job, 3 of them should be XYZ formula saying I did this and this happened, X, Y, and Z. And 2 of them could be BAU stuff saying I just did this. Yeah? So you have to be careful on what you write. As I said, like you have to weigh your sentences on a resume because that counts. And the other thing that you need to know is the first audience of your resume is not technical. Like a recruiter is generally not technical. It's only after you pass that round, then someone technical like an engineering manager or a tech lead or a senior engineer is going to look at your resume. So you need to cater for both those audiences with your resume. Yeah, and the other thing I think many people miss is having a linear and consistent messaging from your public profiles. That's super duper important in this cold job market. Because like if your LinkedIn or your GitHub doesn't really say who you are, doesn't really say which swim lane do you belong, are you like a full stack engineer, a data engineer, a DevOps engineer, I don't know, an ex-engineer, then it's harder, right? So that's where you will need to linearly and consistently give messaging from your public profiles in addition to having good resume. Yeah? Again, coming back to the point of building a network, you don't build a network after you need it. You should have one that can help you when you need it. So if you are like graduating in 6 months, 9 months down the line, now is the right time to start building it, right? Because by the time you graduate and by the time you get to a full-time work visa, you should already know people more than your fingers that work in tech. If that is not the case, then you have not built your network enough. Yeah? Because your network is your net worth, especially when looking for jobs. As I said, like if you've already have met someone in person, that's much better than having 3 chats online. Yeah? So if you already built that network and you have, I don't know, at least people more than your fingers that you know in the tech industry, then they can help you either find jobs in their organization or give you other links where you could find an organization. Because from my experience, as soon as someone refers you, generally it's a 50% more chance that you will get an interview because someone is putting their network and their goodwill for you, right? And then that person is already inside the organization. So it's much easier for the recruiter to say, yeah, like it's kind of vetted, it's already filtered. So I should have a chat with this person rather than that long list of 30, 40, 50 people who applied from LinkedIn, Seek, whatever, their own website, and then it's just kind of piling up there, yeah? Another thing I think many people miss in this is the hiring funnel. This is a very general hiring funnel. It could change as per organization, but then if you don't have a good resume and a good profile, you essentially get stuck here. You don't even get the first initial call, yeah? And then after you get the first recruiter call, then depending on the company, you could have a coding challenge or take-home challenge, or maybe a technical interview and or coding round interview, system design interview, depending on the level that you're applying for. Probably towards the end, there's a final or a behavioral interview, and then at the end is where you get the offer and or then the references are checked. So what you need to know is if you are getting interviews, you need to know at which stage are you being filtered or not passing through, and then how can you make it better, yeah? Which leads to, there are some things that you should focus on interviews. The first one, go well prepared. Research the company. Stalk your interviewer. Thank you. Stalk your interviewer and sharpen your tech chops, of course. Like, I just did a quick math. I did 25 plus interviews in the last 5 or 6 months. And something that I noticed is people don't come prepared. For instance, they have no idea what the values of the company is, which is stated on the website, which is stated on the vacancy, probably like 3-4 places before you come to them. But they have completely no idea what's happening there, right? So things like that. You have to be prepared. You have to show that you are interested in the job. You don't need to act desperate, of course, but you have to show that you are interested and you really want to get that job. Yeah? Stalk your interviewer, because generally with an interview, they are surely going to tell you who's going to take your interview. As soon as you get the name, Go on LinkedIn, go on Google, wherever you want, go ask an LLM, and then try to see what that person is doing, what that person is interested about. That could be a very good icebreaker. Yeah, when you give an intro, if you can link something that they are already interested in, it makes the conversation lighter because you are already nervous because it's an interview, and then if you feel more under pressure, you will not be able to perform well. So try to find that balance where, yeah, you're not like visibly stalking, but at least you know who you are meeting with and what's their experience. Like having good tech skills, that's given. You need that to pass any technical interview. Focus on complete, clear, and concise answers. Like this is something that I've noticed. It's generally a half an hour interview where the intro is expected to be finished in 3 to 5 minutes, but then people don't know where to stop. They're just going on, and as an interviewer, I'm trying to like pull them down, trying to stop them, but it's hard, yeah? So, like, be complete and concise. That doesn't mean be very short, like just say one-word answers, but that also means don't just go off the rails. If you are thinking you're saying too much, just pause and ask, like, do I need to add more? Is it clear to you? Ask follow-up questions rather than just going on your own rap or a rant and then not even looking at the watch. Yeah, so that's important. And then great communication is the key. Like focus. You could even, if it's a face-to-face interview, it's pretty easy to read the person's, how do I put it, like reactions or how they are communicating with you non-verbally. Even in a virtual setting, that can be read to a point. So be a bit more careful of other non-verbal signals that are coming to you. Yeah? And ask for feedback. After the interview, when you get the results, don't ask for feedback exactly after the interview. That is something that's not done, better not done. Because generally what happens in an interview process, there are a couple and a couple of interviewers and then probably one observer might be there. What happens is after an interview, the interviewer would have taken notes generally in an interview. They would digest it, format it, and then put it in the HR system and wait for the HR to like give you the call or give you the result. At that point, make a point to ask for feedback. Not like 1 hour interview, it's just done, and then you're just asking like, will I pass this? How did I do? That's just gonna make the thing hard. Rather than that, relax, wait. The recruiter is anyhow gonna come back to you once all the processing of the background things are done. At that point, make a point of asking for feedback because in good companies and in good processes, there would be a place where you would feel feedback for the candidate. So you'd have some raw notes and things, but generally there would be. So and use that for the next interview. Yeah, exactly. Use it to make your next interview better. I've seen technically capable people rejected because of not great communication skills. This I've seen it multiple times, and I've seen like not so technically sound people advance to the next stage because they were honest, because their answers were clear, because they had done their prep. So that happens. I think that's where like doing that prep, going prepared, if not over prepared, rightly prepared, makes a difference. And personal branding helps. Yeah, having a blog, having a good LinkedIn where you post in a frequency that doesn't need to be daily. It could be weekly. It could be every 2 weeks. But something that tells you that you are of that persona. That persona could be a backend engineer, a full stack engineer, whatever, right? So doing that. And then for anyone who codes, having a decent enough GitHub profile is good. These days, generating code is essentially free. So if you really want, you could have a very good GitHub profile where even things like readmes are generated, but it should make sense. It should still make sense. Slop never makes sense. So it should still make sense. Yeah? That's mostly it. I'm going to go to the demo. And then let's see where this goes. If I can get my screen. Oh, it's already my screen, great. So for the demo, I'm gonna do three main things: the Gemini, and then Google Notebook, which has been called Google Notebook from today. It was called NotebookLM till yesterday. That's Google branding this, rebranding this stuff as usual. And then I'm going to go into Google AI Studio. So for Gemini, how many of you have used Deep Research in Gemini till now? Yeah, only 3 or 4 people. Very good. So this is going to be a good enough demo. I'm not going to put a very long prompt. I'm just going to put this prompt. You can go to Gemini, new chat. Oh, people actually have their laptops. If you want to follow along, you can, but I don't suppose I'll wait for anyone, because if you want, the slides are here. If I forgot to mention, you can scan the slides if you want, and then at the end, there is a link to a GIST where you'll find everything. This is the whole slide, so you have everything. If my demo breaks, I have a video there, so everything's there. I have like a 20-minute video of the whole thing, so everything is there. Just get the slides. You don't need to take notes. You don't need to do anything. If you want to follow along, but I'm not going to like check and see that people are following along. Yeah? All good with the slides? I think so. Most of the phones are down, so that means it's there. Yeah? Wow, I see a lot of people, so yes. Now, this is the list of things that I need to go through, so I should not be forgetting that. This is a very easy-ish prompt, nothing out of the ordinary. We're at 6:30. So if you click this plus button here, and then go to more tools, you have other things. I'm going to go through deep research and guided learning today. But yeah, there are more things than just asking stuff to Gemini. You can do other things as well. And for now, let's go to deep research. This is my prompt, not very long. Find me all AI companies in Sydney, currently hiring software engineers or any software engineering roles focused on the back end. I'm just going to focus on the back end for now. You can write whatever you like, it's just a prompt, at a mid or a junior level. Yeah. Now, if you click this, it's going to go in. Now, first it's going to kind of do some planning. And it's going to go in, probably scrape, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, 50 pages, and then come back with a 4 to 5 page report. Yeah? So that is where I was saying, yeah, it's going to do some planning. And I'm not going to change this plan. I'm just going to go start research. Yeah, and then it's going to go in. Oh, actually, I probably should show you this if it's still there. While this is happening. In deep research, there was an option to, use the sources. So it's just using Google search right now. You can even use your own Drive or Gmail if you wish to, but Google search is more than enough. So yeah, this is the prompt. It's going in. It's just following its plan. All of it is happening. It's going to go through like at least 50, 60 pages, use Google search data, and then come up with a report, like 4 or 5 page report, where it's going to list the companies, the jobs, and stuff. I don't have all that patience, so I did it last night. Yeah, so it's here. Let that run in the background. It's going to take some time. I'm not going to wait. It's exactly the same prompt, but surely the results will be different because LLMs are non-deterministic things, whatever they are. So it's not going to be exactly the same. It's going to be different, right? From here, like this is the report that it made. I can export this to Google Docs, of course, and I can create stuff like a quiz and things like that. So if you're doing company research, you can do a deep research on a company and then create a quiz. It will give you 10 questions, and you can just do that questions 1 hour before going to the interview. Yeah, and then you have talking points. So deep research can be used for multiple things. Can even be used to research on a company where you are doing your first interview. I'm just giving you an example of, okay, try find me jobs for AI companies like in Sydney, backend jobs. It found like funny jobs as well, but I'm not going to go there right now. But yeah, basically it gave me a report. I can export it as a Google Doc, as I said. And yeah, there are like, I saw somewhere that there was a graduate engineer and they were paying pretty well for a graduate engineer. So anyhow, the point being, this is the deep research it did, and then it found all of it. It depends on your prompt and what you write and what you want it to do. If you look here, maybe it shows you the number of pages it scraped. Probably not. anyways, I can show that in the other one when that finishes. So after that, what I did was I asked it to create a web page out of it, which it created this, as far as I remember. No, this one, yeah. So it just, synthesized this information as a web page. It found these many roles. The composition areas was this, blah, 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 all of that. Yeah, it did all of that. I didn't do anything. I just said, create this, and it did all of it. After that, I think I asked it to create a infographic, if I'm not mistaken. It did the same. It went in, it did all of that infographic thingy. Oh, wow. I didn't know it did this as well. And what else did I do? Yeah, and then, of course, I can ask it here, like, let me ask it something. Why did you not include Lorikeet AI, which is an AI company in Sydney and has software engineer? Let's see what it says. Is the font big enough? Visible? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to see what it says. But while that happens, basically it started here. It did the plan. I did the research, start research. And then, yeah, from here you can create other stuff, which is blocked because I'm sending it another prompt. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Blah, 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 as a LLM always replies. Yeah? And that's the thing, like you can create other stuff like a quiz, flashcards, give it a go. An audio overview is more like a podcast if you want to create out of the research. So yeah, it's very good if you do a company deep research and then you want to know what the company has on the internet and what Gemini thinks is important out of that. Yeah? And that's going to take some time though. So let me see if the one that we started finished. Is it still going on? I don't know. Probably it's going on. It's good that I did it yesterday. Yeah, that's deep research for you. Another one. So we're looking at backend roles. So you can do guided learning. Yeah? Anyone use guided learning on Gemini? Nobody. That's very good. So a new thing for you. So what I am thinking is most people haven't clicked this plus. They're just going in and asking stuff. Yeah.
I only use for uploading files.
Uploading files. Now you know other stuff. Guided learning. So let's say you're doing a backend role, right? And then they use Nest.js. If you don't know, Nest.js is a framework built on Express and can be replaced. So basically, it's a opinionated Nest JavaScript TypeScript framework, yeah? And you have never used it, so you want to learn it, right? If that's the case, then yeah, I'm assuming you're a backend engineer who has done JavaScript and Node, but never touched Nest.js. Probably you did Express or something, yeah? So you could start with a very simple prompt like this with guided learning. Yes, it's guided learning, and then I'm just going to paste this. The good thing is it goes step by step. So even if you spend 15, 20 minutes or half an hour with it, it actually just guides you through the context and the content. So let's say if I wanted to learn React and I was not using React, it actually takes me step by step very well. For example, here, yeah, it says there are core building blocks, there's hands-on setup, there's big picture. So for example, if I'm used to Express, then I know what a controller is, what a model is. So what I'm going to say is, okay, teach me about the hands-on setup. I just say 2. It gave me an option, 1, 2, 3, 2, and boom. Now it's going to say, okay, I'm going to take you to this path. Yeah. So now it's going to take me to the setup of Nest.js. So it's saying, yeah, you can do this, you can do this. Now it starts asking me questions on what commands I need to put. Let me see if I can solve this. Before we look at the files and create it, have you worked with terminal like NPM? Do you already know? Do you already have nodes installed on your computer? Okay. Let's see what it asks me after this. So this is very conversational and it builds incrementally. It doesn't give you a blog post or I don't know, like a 2,000-liner blog post saying this is the intro to Nest.js. It actually, you can take it whatever way you like to. It will incrementally start asking and then give you a more guided learning experience. That's what guided learning is. So awesome, you have next, blah, 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 blah. What is it asking? Okay, looking at the source, which one do you think is responsible for defining actual text and get text or data and get sent back when someone visits your website? That should be the controller, but I may be wrong. Oh, I was right. Anyways, that's the point, right? It is not trying to explain you all the concepts or a lot of things at the same time. It's asking questions, going step by step. So if you spend 15 to 30 minutes with it and you want to learn the basics of React, possible. Yeah, but it's going to take some time. It's going to go slowly, step by step. So that's guided learning. What's next on the menu? The next thing on the menu is NotebookLM and or Gemini Notebook. That is what it has been called from today. Oh, that I know. Go. Is the URL changing? The URL is not changing. Only the logo has changed. It was called NotebookLM till last night, and from this morning it's called Gemini Notebook. Yeah. So from here, what you can do is you can create a notebook. And now I'm assuming that you are after this role, yeah, which is a software engineer role, and you want to do some more research on Lorikeet AI. One way is to do it with Deep Research. Another way is to do it with NotebookLM and or Gemini Notebook. Yeah. So Lorikeet AI, this is the website. Now I am a very lazy person, so what I will do is ask it to pull all the hyperlinks from this page, which is the first page of their website. Yeah, I'm lazy, and two, I think I know how to code. So I'll just put this here. Boom, I get like 22, 23 links. I can mix and match. If I don't need something, I'll throw it out. Else I'll just copy all of them. Let me see. I'll just copy all of them for now. And this thing is on the slides, on the references if you want. So this whole thing is there. And if you read this, and if you know JavaScript, nothing out of the ordinary. I'm just getting all the links and just listing them. Nothing fancy happening here. Yeah. So with that, I go here, I paste the links. Terms of services, I don't really care. Privacy policy, I don't really care. Okay, the remaining 21, 22 links, I can add it here. Yeah. Here as well, I can do a fast or a deep research. I'm just going to select deep research for now. You could upload your files as well. Gemini Notebook and or NotebookLM is your own mini RAG system, so it will only answer the things on the sources that you provide. As I'm doing more research on Lorikeet AI, I basically pulled in the links that are relevant, I assume so, from their website, and I want to do some research on them. Yeah. So boom. It's going to take some time. It's going to read all the sources, but here what I can ask. Done. What I can ask it is like, what are the company values for Lorikeet AI? Yeah, after this is kind of parsed or script, whatever they're doing there. Yeah. If I do this, it will answer. But yeah, if I start asking it, who is the Prime Minister of Australia, probably it's not going to answer because it's not in my sources. Yeah. So it kind of builds its own mini RAG with the sources I provide. Now it's going through only the 22 links that I put in, and then, yeah, now it's answering. And it has back references as well, where it got it from. Yeah, it's coming from the Work With Us page. So this is how you can prepare well, number one. And now with this, similar to Deep Research, you can create a quiz. Now the quiz is going to have, I think, 10 questions, and it's going to be only from the sources that you have added. Similarly, you can create an infographic, you can create a data table, you can create, a mind map might be interesting. You can create slide deck. I think by default it creates like 10 or 12 slides, but you can go in and you can change as well. If you want a shorter one, detailed one, all of that. And you can even say like focus on values, focus on, I don't know, financials, whatever of the company. Yeah. If you want something on the go, you can create a audio overview, which is a podcast. If you are more of a visual learner, you can create a video, and it will go in and create a video from the sources that you provided, right? A 5-minute or a 7-minute explainer. They just added a 1 minute short as well. If you are more into shorts and you want to create a short, you can do that. They just added it probably a week back or something like that. All up to you. So let's just have a look. It created a mind map from the 21 sources I provided. Yeah, like team and culture. This is what I'm more interested in. Or there are 2 founders. One of them is ex-Googler and one of them is ex-Spotify or something. Yeah, nice. Pricing and ROI. All good, very expensive. I'm not going to buy it, but I can work for them. Stuff like that. Yeah? So you have like a mind map, and then you can go through all of that. And of course, you can go in and ask here, like, how many employees are there? I don't know if it will answer it, but if it finds it within the 21 sources that I uploaded, it's going to answer that. NotebookLM, I have a pro version, so probably I get more generations, but the free one should be enough for you to do 1 company in a day. You might hit the limits in a day, but then you just come back tomorrow and then continue where you left. What does it say? Yeah, it doesn't say the total exact numbers, but it says they have a global presence, blah, 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 blah. So I won't say it does not hallucinate, it would minimally hallucinate, or like almost none. We are done with that. Now, where do we go? Done. Oh yeah, let me show you if it generated any infographics, if it was successful. Yeah. So all the 21 sources, it basically will boil it down to 1 image, and this is what it thinks Lorikeet AI does. Pretty easy. And like these are the things that you can use in your interviews as an icebreaker, as something that you can embed within your answers or follow-up questions. That's the type of prep I'm talking about. I was talking about earlier. Let's do live interviews. Being Google product, Google AI Studio is also available for free. So Gemini, too many tabs open, live interview, AI Studio. Google AI Studio, you should have good enough credits on free to at least do half of the interview. If you go to Google AI Studio, click on Playground. They added agents recently. I didn't know that. I want to go to models. There's a real time. Yeah, this is where the magic is. And as far as I know, my sound should work. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do translate. I'm going to do this. From here, I don't like this voice, but for now, I'm going to use it. No function calling, grounded with Google search is important. Anything else? Context, blah, blah, blah. No, nothing important. Yeah. I have a blog post on how you can do this. This is also a back-end focused engineering interview. The main thing is the prompt. So I'm telling Gemini to act as a seasoned back-end engineer with more than 20 years of experience, blah, 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 and all of these things, like what it's going to ask and everything. I mean, you know what it's going to ask, but still it's good to prepare. The main point here is it operates in 2 modes, the interviewer mode and the reviewer mode. So let's say if you give an answer to the introduction question, you can say switch to reviewer mode and then give me feedback. And it'll do that. Yeah. So this is one thing that's embedded in the prompt. You can get it on my blog. And what am I doing? I'm going here and then, yeah, so the other thing that you need to remember, which is there in the blog post, is if you don't have this, it will start hallucinating, or else it will verify your answers with Google search. So if you don't really answer what REST is properly, without that, it might say you did a good job, but with that, it will say, no, you didn't answer REST properly. So that's the whole point, yeah? Anything else? Nothing that I know of. I'm pasting the prompt. So yeah, the prompt is there. You can have a read. It's going to ask you these things. And then, yeah. Basically, I've tried to make the prompt as comprehensive as possible. I think the audio is working, so let me give it a shot. I mean, if the internet is slow and stuff.
Understood. I'm ready to begin the interview. Please share the job posting so I can customize our discussion. Once you're ready, please start by introducing yourself. We can then proceed to the technical questions. How does that approach sound?
That sounds good. I'm gonna send you the job post. Did you take my?
Thank you.
I took my audio.
Thank you. Thank you for the job description. I've reviewed the link to the lorikeet position. Now, to start the interview, please tell me a bit about yourself and your experience within backend engineering.
I've been a backend engineer for more than 10 years. I've worked with systems that have hundreds of thousands of users, if not millions of users. Yeah, I think that is a good enough intro. Or did I? No, I didn't start it good. I've been a backend engineer for more than 10 years. I have worked across 5 or 7 companies.
Thank you. Got it. Given the role requires scaling AI systems, can you tell me about a time you optimized a data pipeline for performance and reliability? What were the key challenges and what was your approach?
Can you switch to the reviewer mode and give me feedback on my last answer of my introduction? Can you switch to reviewer mode and give me feedback on my last answer for my introduction?
Sure thing. Switching to reviewer mode now. Your introduction was concise, but to give the best feedback, I need a little more detail. Try to highlight specific achievements or projects you've worked on, especially those that align with the job description, like scalability or performance optimization. That would make it stronger and showcase your expertise better. How would you like to rephrase that? Ready to dive back into the technical questions when you are?
No. So basically, like, I think there is a setting where it had like, don't be too proactive, wait for the person who is speaking, but I didn't find it here now. Maybe you can add it as a system instruction saying, wait for the person to actually answer, because as you could see here, like, I was talking and then it was just picking it up. So you can add that as a system instruction, and then, yeah, basically you get the idea. If you want to do a front-end engineer interview, change the prompt, and then you can ask for it for feedback, 2 or 3 main points. Make sure you turn on the grounding, because without it, it's going to hallucinate. But that's the point. Now you have an interviewer. You can use it at 2 a.m. on a Friday, and you can still be preparing for an interview. Yeah? That's the main point. What else? Yeah, this is done. Yeah, this is another interesting project that I've found that would be very useful for a job search. This guy essentially used this to scan tens of jobs, and right now he's like the head of AI somewhere. He's somewhere in Europe. The main point being, you can use it to scan and research for jobs, get yourself prepared for an interview, ask it to customize your resume per job, customize your cover letter per job. You kind of give it a base, you give it your resume, and then it does a lot of things on its own, but it costs tokens, of course, right? So that's the thing. Where is it start with? I'm not gonna start with that. This is one-liner, but it's good to have a read on how to set it up. You'll need to set up the portals and give it your resume, and the more settings you put, the better it's gonna be. I was facing some issues yesterday. It was like doing a lot of scans, but not really finding front-end jobs. I was just looking if I could do it with front-end jobs. So I'm gonna show you some of it, but it would be better if you just go in and do it. You can use anti-gravity, and as you have a Google account, for sure, you'll have some credits that you can use. If the credits expire for the day, I don't know, it resets every 6 hours or the next day. Same story, yeah? I'm not gonna set it up. I've already set it up. It looks something like this. I am giving it an imaginary, not an imaginary. It's actually a real person's resume, but I have just plucked out the PII information. And it adds here, profile. It adds your, yeah, this is the person. I mean, it asks you and then builds it up as well. You can go in and change this YAML file. It's up to you. It's up to you on how you want to do it. What you need to do is you need to set it up, and then you should have anti-gravity installed. Yeah. After you do Edge UI, then you will find you will not see this for yourself, because right now I'm using a Google Cloud project and I have some credit and I'm using it, but you'll not see the anti-gravity business. But even with that, it should generally work for you. Now, do you want to use? You might not want to use Flash High. Gemini 3.5 Flash High or Medium might work well for you, but this is a demo. Yeah? With that, if you do career ops, this is where all the magic is. It's a skill, and then if you do this, it's going to list everything. I'm just going to do a quick example with the Lorikit job we have, right? And then you can do this as well. You can just provide the job description, and it's going to run the scanning and the pipeline for you. So it's going to do, and of course, it's going to cost you tokens. While that is happening, there are multiple things that you can do. As I told you, you can do scan, which is, what? Is it not here anymore? That's strange. You can do /career ops scan, and then it will scan for the new jobs. It creates a pipeline. It creates that you have applied for it or not. It does the whole shenanigan, and then it tracks everything for you. They are just files, markdown files, or like CSV files. So it's not doing anything with a database or anything like that. This is written in Node, so it's actually not even using TypeScript from what I've seen. It's just using .mjs files, which is a module JavaScript, but it's pretty effective, pretty nice. And yeah, with anti-gravity, I don't know how much credit you get, but it's saying here with Gemini, this is not bad, not bad at all. Yeah, what I just did was this. I did a career ops and this pasted the JD, and now it's working on it. It's asking, of course, it wants to go in and pull the information, so let's go. You can do, scan is there, sorry. So you can do scan. It's going to scan all the job listing companies and or tracked companies if you have it in the portal.yaml. And then you can create PDFs, you can create a cover letter. You can actually even, where was that? You can even create, I don't know if they removed it, but you could even create like a LinkedIn message for the recruiter of that company. So it even kind of made that up, which is good, but I forgot where it is. Here, this one. So Contacto, it actually, drafts a message for the hiring manager for that job. So you can do a lot of stuff. It can do deep research of the company, but I guess it gives you out like a prompt that you should paste it in another LLM. And yeah, it can even do this, like it can tell you, depending on the job, it's better that you do this certification or this particular course, blah, blah, blah. And then it can evaluate your projects as well. So yeah, it will cost you some tokens. It is harness agnostic. I'm using anti-gravity because I have the credits. If you want to use Claude or something else, it will work seamlessly. Yeah. And yeah, it's looking for all of this. It's doing job search. Now what it will do at the end is it will actually give me a resume tailored for that job. For example, this is what I did for Fetch. There was another. So I did the same thing for this vacancy as well, front-end engineer Fetch. Yeah. And then it did all of those scanning and whatever it needed to do, and then came up with like a resume that's customized for the role, because it read the resume, it read the role, now it knows what to put. And then, like many people tell you, customize your resume for the job, but doing it manually is a headache, as all of us know. But this thing actually automates that. You need a job description URL, put it there. Now, if you really want to use this resume or not, it's up to you. Judgment call, again, right? But then at least it does the job. Yeah, so you can have a customized resume per job. This is one that I used yesterday to create for Fetch. And once this is done, this thing that's running, it's going to do it for the Lorikit job description that I just sent it. Hopefully.
You just have shown GitHub, right?
Yeah.
How hard is to run that?
Oh, no, you'll need Node installed on your machine, and then it's actually one command.
Because I'm a uni student. In the last semester I tried, but because I failed them, so to be honest. Web design and development. No more GitHub.
Now, if you want to work in software and if you say no more GitHub, I'm sorry, you will not find a job. But now it depends.
I tried, but I couldn't get past even in the subject. So that's why I just quit learning GitHub. That's why I'm asking you how hard it is to learn GitHub.
You will not need to learn GitHub for this or Git for this. You will essentially need Node.js for sure on your machine, and then it's just that command, one command, and it should get you started. After that, of course, you'll need to edit files, of course, which you know. It will tell you, like, edit the portal.yaml, profile.yaml, and these stuff. But you will not need to commit, pull, push. It has a command to auto-update and stuff like that. So if you really want to not use GitHub, that's a possibility. That's surely a possibility. Who was I looking for? I was looking for Akash. I don't see him, so that means we can continue. I was looking at the time, it's 7:01, so I was just looking for Akash. Anyways, I hope I can get to a point where I can show you that the PDF is created. It's almost there. Yeah, while this is happening, you might be wondering why did I choose Lorikeet AI?
I never heard of it, to be honest.
That's good. That's good that you know of it. Yeah, this is what I really, really like, and what it stands out for them. Yeah, they have like a 2-step interview process. They have a chat, and then they ask you to come in, work for 2 days paid trial, and then they decide. Not like 3-5 rounds of interviews. And that is one reason that I just want to show that there are companies who do that. And this is run by like an ex-Googler and an ex-Spotify or someone. I mean, this is on-site. I would not apply for it, but I'm just giving my reasoning on why I chose this particular company or this particular job. Yeah? Come on, get it done. You just need a PDF. What is going and reading TSV files now? Yeah, that's what happens when you use LLM. Let's see. Oh, actually, I think it did generate. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it did. So it read my resume. It read the sample resume. It read through the job description. And then it created me customized to the job resume, looking at my resume and the job description. And then it did that. Yeah. So, yeah, but again, the same thing. Judgment call, you'll need to read it, you'll need to verify, you'll need to see that it is not overinflating your achievements. All of that, you will surely need to do that. But then one of the other harder problems is kind of solved. And I don't know why it is being token hungry and doing other stuff, but I don't really care at this point. It's tracking that it has done Lorikeet something. Anyways, if you have the tokens to spend, or at least you have free tokens for the day, give this a go. Now the question being, do you need GitHub? Probably not. Done with this. I am done with the demo, so we can go back to the slides. Yeah, this is done. This is going to play, so I'm going to pause it and go next. Yeah. So the top 3 takeaways I'd like you to get from this talk is, number 1, surely use the Gen AI tools in all or most steps of the job search. 1, finding or searching for a job. 2, when you get an interview, research for the company. 3, when you get the second interview, stalk the interviewer and then use AI if you want there as well. Like, go prepared. I've seen many people coming to interviews, amazing people. If they would have put an hour or 2 hours more extra preparation, they would have easily gone to the next stage, but they didn't. Yeah? Explore more, explore the LLMs and tools. Like, let it do the heavy lifting. Whatever can be automated, automate it. The problem of customized resume per job is finally partially solved. We'll surely need the judgment and how you do it. But yes, like some of those things I think are solved. Last but not the least, like update your workflow. Going to the same 5 websites and trying to find a job, I think that era is like not going to scale now. And thank you. That's my LinkedIn. You can connect it. I still have some time for questions, but yes, please take this because they will be needed. Yeah, I can take questions.
Does anybody have any questions?
If you have questions, there are mics around. So either I did a very good job and you don't have questions, or I did a very, very bad job and then you don't have questions.
Yeah, we have a question right here.
Oh yeah, go.
Yes.
Thank you for the session. My question is like, what I have come often is I do different resumes for different jobs. I'm doing that, but coming to the maybe only I'm thinking about that. But what about the cover letters? Like, do we need to make every cover letter as per the resume?
The career ops thing can also generate cover letters, number 1.
Right.
Number 2, in my experience, like smaller startup-ish companies, they never ask for a cover letter. It might be optional, but it's never really read and regarded. Now, yeah, if you go for a bank or something, probably they will ask you. But that's the thing, like where you are applying and how much importance do they put on a cover letter. That's the thing. If it's needed, career ops can generate that as well. So probably you can use it and then it can do a customized cover letter. Any other questions? There's one there.
Honestly, the career ops section was the most interesting part. I do want to ask, like, you did your job search like maybe like a year ago, right?
October, 6-7 months, yeah. 7
Yeah.
months, yeah.
Have you used career ops? Or like, I just want to.
Then I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I knew about career ops probably 3 or 4 months back. 3 months back, 3 or 4 months back, yeah.
And about like the XYZ format, it obviously follows all the XYZ format, and star format or something.
It doesn't really do that. It depends because
I didn't see this.
it's going to input, like when you set it up, it's going to ask for your resume. You can just paste your resume as a text. It is going to make some modification, but it's not going to like completely change it. For that, you should have come in May. I did a talk on, or like a resume reviewer.
Yeah.
If you want, it's on rr.geshan.com.np. You can try it even now.
I'll check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Any more questions?
In an interview for the "Tell me a bit about yourself" question, how would you introduce yourself? Like, what would you say?
Me. Me or like what?
In like a general
what
sense,
should people
yeah.
say? What should people say?
Like freshies, what they want to say, like PhD graduates or MIT students.
Yeah. Frame it by answering essentially 2 questions. You can do it even for your resume summary, like the thing that you write on top. Like what do I do or what can I do? And then what can I do for your organization? If you essentially answer these 2 questions, that intro is good enough. Like you could say that I have done X for 3 years. For example, let's say if you're working back home before coming here for a master's, you could say I did this. And then I am this. I am a backend engineer who has 3 years of experience, has worked with, Node, TypeScript. And then what value do I add on the table to the company? If you just can summarize it that, which is essentially 30, 40 seconds, 1 minute, that is already a good enough intro. You don't need to drag it. Yeah.
I'm a final year student in Bachelor of IT. So if I'm going to search for a job, that's for sure I haven't done anything. I've just done academic work, right? So in terms of that, will my final capstone project gonna be impactful if I present to the group? I have done this project, I have this app or this website. Can I do this or is gonna be wrong?
Depends upon packaging. Depends on packaging and like how you are, how you message it. Yeah. But having said that, even if you're a bachelor's student, so essentially a bachelor's is easily 3 or 4 years. Yeah, 3 or 4 years. So nobody stops you from contributing to open source. Nobody stops you from starting a side project. Like nobody stops you from getting involved in someone else's side project or gathering 3 friends and then creating a side project, right? So I think that is how you need to market, because you don't have hands-on full-time work experience. These things should add up, right? I don't know. For example, let's say if I have a DevOps engineer role, yeah, and we use Kubernetes, and then I find someone who has done 2 commits and 2 pull requests merged in Kubernetes, most likely I will call that person for an interview. Yeah, so look at other avenues where you don't need to be working for full time. Can I get back my slides? Is there anyone? Thank you. Yeah, so I can show you this example. This thing has been live for more than 6 years now. Yeah, this is a side project that we started. And then if you read this one, essentially it has helped these many people in the past 6 years or 5 years. And all the greens that you see are first-time tech jobs. And let me see. Yeah, first-time full-time tech jobs. Yeah, all the greens that you see in the screen. So they essentially updated their resume to package this project properly. They have had worked on this project. This is pre-AI, as I said, it started 2020. Yeah, I know some of them have become senior engineers now. One of them is working here at Domain. Yeah, and he's a senior engineer, but 2019-20 when he started in this, he was looking for a job. He was on a partner visa, 500, with full-time work rights, but partner visa. Yeah. So yeah, don't look at the other colors. Just look at the greens. All the greens that you see, it's a timeline from 2019 to actually just timeline from 2019 to 2022. Everything pre-AI, but all the greens that you see, they basically transitioned from a casual job or whatever they were doing as a student to a full-time tech role. So that is what I'm telling. No one stops you from finding a good open source project and showing your skills. No one stops you from starting a side project like this or joining a side project like this. Yeah? Yeah, you have a live example here. So yeah, that's the point. If you don't have full-time experience, show other things that just add up to it. 1. Number 2, probably, again, no one stops you, or it would be better, I'm sorry to use it, go a bit negative, but you could start writing a blog, right? And you could post everything every month. Even if you do that for a month, 1 year you have 12 posts. And if you are a React engineer and you have written 12 amazing or good enough React posts, I'm much more likely to interview than him who has not written anything or who has not promoted himself, the personal brand aspect. So I think that is what I would see. Adding on that, we hired 2 people, one in January, one in March. One of them just passed from University of Wollongong, and the other one just passed from UTS. One was masters, both of them were masters, but the point being, they also didn't have a lot of work experience back home. One person actually didn't really have tech work experience back home. So it is possible. It's just March, 3 months back, by the way. It's not even pre-AI. Pre-AI is that, by the way. Pre-AI is, you see it there. Look at the time. Probably I'll take one question, I'll be outside, and then we can have a chat. And then I can have a chat with you outside.
Thank you. My question is mainly about face-to-face interviews or virtual interviews.
Go.
What do you think is the most impressive characteristic of the best interviews you've taken?
Honesty. Not going around the bush. If you don't know something, say, I don't know it, I learn it. That's much better. Then you have kind of half knowledge, you're kind of answering, it's just going around and around. You're, again, not using the time well. Time is important. People who know, look, 3 weeks back, I had 3 interviews in a day. And then, or even generally, interview is something that I'm doing that's kind of on the sides, which is taking my regular work's time, right? So if if an hour is allocated, I like to get it done within an hour. Like, I don't want to shorten it, but of course I'll take the hour. So basically interviews run in three segments. Yeah, introductions, then there is some questioning, question and answer, and then at the end they let you ask questions. Yeah, so there are generally 3 sections in every interview. Yeah, so with that, in-person, virtual, whatever, if you go to an interview, probably I'll say two things. For sure, preparation, pre-prep is surely needed in the interview. Honesty, like, it's fine to say I don't know, but it's better to say I don't know, but I'll learn. Yeah, that's it. I think it's fine. Like, no one knows everything, so it's completely fine to say I don't know. The problem starts when they kind of know half, they want to answer half, and then there is a follow-up question, then they want to answer that as well, that is also half-baked, and it just goes downhill from there. And then within that, you have already wasted 5 minutes, or 3 minutes. But then for me, I have kind of a checklist that I need to go through. And if I have 10 things on that, because of time, now I cannot go to 8, 9, and 10. I have kind of stopped at 7, yeah? So you need to sometimes be in the shoes of the interviewer as well. An interview, basically at good places, there is a thing that we will cover, because we again need to go back and fill that form, right? Which is blah, 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 and this and that. So I have to do that as well. So even if it's a 1-hour interview, I probably have like 5 or 10 minutes before, which as a prep, I will surely go through your profile, your LinkedIn or something. Yeah? And then after the interview, I again have 15, 20 minutes because I need to write the feedback. Yeah? So it just looks like 1 hour, but then it easily covers 1.5 hours of my calendar. So I want to make the best use of 1 hour that's with you. And that's where like honesty, keeping tab of time, coming prepared, telling things about the company or the person to get, because that, as I said, that lowers the temperature. Yeah. In the intro, if you can lower the temperature, you are less nervous, and that's where you can perform better. So you have to be a bit more strategic when you go into interviews, but I think that those 2 or 3 things would be top of mind.
Thank you.
I'll let them speak now. I've spoken a lot, so I'll let them speak, and then probably the food is here as well. Thank you. And yes.
Thank you so much, Geshan, for such an insightful session today.
Yep.
We know how valuable your time is, so we really appreciate your time to come here, share your knowledge, experience, and all the practical tips for our GDG UTS community. Is everyone walking away with something valuable tonight? Yes. So thank you so much. Can we all give one more big round of applause to Geshan?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Probably we can go back to the slides. Oh, no, the slides. Thank you. Here you go.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So for those who haven't met me before, my name is Ina Song, and I'm the marketing director at GDG on campus UTS. If you have seen our posters on Instagram and LinkedIn, that was one of my designs. Hope you liked it. And also, we're just like, okay, so GDG UTS is just getting started. We only have 2 events so far. And actually, those were all sold out before, like 3 to 4 days before. So if you don't want to miss the next one, please make sure to follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn. That's where we post our latest updates. And you can also join us through Bevy, which is Google Community website. So you can see all other GDG chapters, like GDG Sydney, GDG other campus as well. So that's how you can get the latest updates. So after this event, we'll send you all the email with today's photos and the slides with probably the feedback form. So if you have any feedbacks or questions, please feel free to give us a feedback on the form. Also, now we'll head out to the place you were waiting before 6 p.m. We'll have food that Google kindly provided for us. So just feel free to grab food and then getting to know each other. And that will be end of our events today. Thank you so much for coming today. Enjoy the networking, and hope to see you in the next events as well. Thank you.